Alright, junk pile as usual. Something's missing. Well, as you can see, something's missing. So we're working on a couple of projects and put the wheel weight rack inside the van body here so it'll be close to the tire mount machine, and really happy with it. Looks great, really proud of it. And then while we were working on another project, my son brought up something and we had to put on the brakes, step back a couple of feet and look at something else. So let me show you. So this is where the van body was. You can see I'm doing some framing to close in that section of roof, which was originally the plan anyway. We were going to do that down the road, but we ended up having to move the van body, and we had to move it a lot quicker than we had anticipated because the connex is ready to go in. And so the connex box is going to sit roughly about where it is now. It'll be in line, whoops, sorry for the finger, right in here. There'll be about a 6-foot gap in between the building over here and the connex box. So the problem is, let me walk you around this way. The problem is, if we went on and put the connex box in place, oh, by the way, it's got to come back that way about 2.5 feet. But if we went on and put it in place where the van body was, we would never be able to get that out. And so we had to stop. We actually already had the connex box moved in. We were ready to get it off the trailer. When we realized this, so we had to pull it out, pull the van body out. And as you can see, it's over there right now. We'll figure a new home for it later. And since the plan is to cover that up anyway while I'm waiting on some friends to come help me get this off, I figured I'd frame that roof section in and get it done. And I just, golly, look how badly bowed all that wood is. It was pretty straight about 3 days ago when I bought it, but with the rain and humidity, that's what happens. Well, good morning. I hope y'all are doing well today. It is a muggy day here. We got a serious thunderstorm yesterday, so it's a little muddy and humid, but you know, that's part of life. As you can see, there's something a little different. We have the connex box here behind me on the ground. 40-foot trailer's over here, so we were able to get the connex box off the trailer. Yeah, I didn't film that. There's things that were done that don't need to be recorded for history. So anyway, we got it on the ground. So everything is coming together. We've got to level this thing. We've got to square it up. And I don't know if you can tell on the camera right now, but the opening between the edge of the connex box and the building right now on this end is about 3 foot, 3 foot 3 inches. On the other end, it's 5.5 feet. I want the building to be 5 foot from the edge of, or the connex box 5 foot from the edge of the building. That way I can do a concrete path. I can get equipment or materials down here if I need to. I've still got an egress if I need to get out of the shop. So that's the plan. In order to do that, we've got to move this thing just under 3 foot in that direction. So I would say I could bring the tractor in and do it, but with it being so wet, so muddy, I don't think I'd get traction, and I think the tractor would sink up. So we're gonna do this old school way. Let me show you what I'm doing. So I used to have a friend that moved mobile homes and houses, and when they would need to shift them side to side, they would use a very basic way of doing it. They would chalk the house, or in this case the connex box. So we've got a long 6x6 here that's running from here all the way past the building. On this side, I've got a concrete block right here under the edge, but behind it, I've got a skid, and it's a 6x6 with a cleat on it, and the edge is rounded like a skate or a ski, so it will help pull things that way. Off camera, about 20 foot that way, I've got an oak tree that's about 28 inches in diameter that we've hooked a chain around it, come over, and I've got this come along attached to it. And this is a heavy industrial come along. I think it's rated for 10 or 12 tons, something like that, I can't remember. But it's a heavy duty come along. The kicker is I could try to crank this the way it is, and it might move the building. But building weighs about 8,800 pounds, 9,000 pounds. But you've also got to think about friction, where it's catching on the ground and in the mud, and it's dragging. And so that's going to cause it to have a little bit of an issue as well. So we're going to do what they do when they move mobile homes. And let me pull you in a little closer. Okay, so you can see right here we've got the long cleat. I said 6x6, it's actually a 4x6. So we got the long cleat there, and then over here where they come along, you can see the skid that I've got there. I actually need to move this chain so it doesn't interfere with the skate. All right, but what's going to be doing the majority of the work is right here. This is my equipment jack, my tongue jack, and as you can see, I've got it sitting on a 1-inch steel plate. That way the weight is spread out. But if you look, it's not level. I've got this 1-inch board up under this side of it. We've jacked it up and the jack is leaning. Now, this could possibly damage the jack, but I've done this before with other large objects, moving them this way, and it hasn't damaged any of that. So we're going to keep going with it. So what we do, the jack is offset, it's leaning. We jack up the building and it starts picking it up. Well, it's naturally going to pick it up in a direction going that way. So what we'll do, you can see over here, we've got some clearance between the skid and the or the brick and the box. We've got a couple inches over here. I'm going to go on and remove this concrete block and get it out of the way because I don't need it anymore now that I've got that skate back there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the come along to pull the building towards us, and as it comes towards us, the jack's going to lean a little more until it comes to a point where it topples off the jack. And you can get a foot to a foot and a half every time you do this. It may take a few resets to get it moved over, but it's a fairly safe way of doing it. Like I said, it could damage the jack if you've got a really cheap jack, but I've used this one on several different occasions. I've had no trouble, so that's what we're gonna do. So before we start the movement, I want to double check my measurement between the building and the connex box. I'm exactly 3 foot 6 inches, so we want to move as far that way as we can. Watch out, Rock. So now we started out at 3 foot 6 inches. I'm at 4 foot even. So that moved it 6 inches. So now we're going to reset, jack it up again, do the same thing, and keep going. So as you saw, we're at 5 foot from the wall to the connex box. That end down there is 5.5 feet. So we've got to go 6 inches that way, which we can do after we get this end set. So we're on the jack. It's jacked up. It's still at an angle. We're tight on the come along. If we kept pulling the come along, it'll kick over like it did before, but it's going to put it over that 5 foot mark, and then we got to get it back. So what we're going to do now, because the come along is tight, it will keep it at that 5 foot mark, and we are going to let the jack down, which it may slide on the jack, excuse my hand, but as it comes down, it may slide on the jack a little, I don't know, but because this is at 5 foot, or the indication it needs to be, it should go straight down. So we'll see how it works. So it did settle odd a little. It's about a 1/2 inch too far that way than it should be. I can live with a 1/2 inch. I'm not worried about that. So yeah, now that this side's in place, next step's going to be to take care of the other side and get it moved over, and then we'll start leveling it up, getting it ready. Well, as you see, we got it jacked up. We tried to use a bar over here to tip it, and it did not work. The problem is I don't have anything over in that area to hook the come along to, so ended up starting to rain So we ended up stepping away from it. What I did do is I brought the tractor in right here and just nudged it, and it topped over. So now we're 5 foot here, we're 5.5 inches on the other end. I'm good with that. So we can clean this area right in here out and get it ready to pour some concrete in there or gravel for a walkway. But yeah, the other thing we've done, we got this closed in. Tried to straighten the boards out as much as I could. Got some of it, almost all of them except that one right there still got bow in it, but I couldn't get it all out. But it turned out okay. So yeah, we're getting it. Well, y'all, it has been a busy couple of days. Now, the videos you've seen are spaced out over about 2 weeks or so. And I was glad we got all of this stuff done. As you can see, I've got the connex behind me. We still have to level it, but nothing to do. Nothing really showy about that. We'll get that done off camera. And yeah, keep moving forward. So, you know, 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, and, you know, keep going. We're doing good though. We're moving ahead. We're above ground. God blessed us, and nobody got hurt in this process, so I'm happy for that. Hope you're having a great day. I know we are here. It's a beautiful day today, and can't ask for any more. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting and following along. Hope this helps you in some way. Like I said, it's a neat way to move something, to side shift it if you can't get heavy equipment in, and hope it helps somebody out someday. God bless you. Y'all take care. I'll see you on the next one.